Now, bridges here in Oregon may not be a huge risk to cargo ship collisions, but there are other risks to the state's continuously deteriorating bridge infrastructure. The Oregon Department of Transportation's recently released annual bridge report says the agency is losing ground to manage the state's bridge system. KEZI 9 News reporter Aaron Ariano goes over some of the report's findings.
According to ODOT's 2023 Bridge Condition Report, a significant number of the nearly 2,800 bridges in Oregon are in fair condition, but that's likely to transition to poor condition in the near future. 40% of the bridges across the state need to be maintained or replaced in the coming decades. A majority of them built between 1950 and 1970. ODOT says with adequate funding, they could replace up to 27 bridges a year, but are only able to replace roughly 3 bridges a year. One of the serious causes of bridge deterioration is scouring, or the erosion of bridges' foundations due to fast-moving water and gravel. ODOT says there are nearly 500 bridges that are unstable due to scouring, and many bridges are not up to date to handle those scouring conditions. Coming up, what the report says about Lane County's bridges and how many are in good condition. Reporting in the studio, Aaron Ariano, KEZI 9 News.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Now, with the risks of deteriorating bridge infrastructure also come the questions of how did so many bridges in Oregon get to be that way? And KEZI 9 News reporter Jennifer Singh shows us why keeping up with the bridges become more difficult year after year.
As mentioned earlier, a significant number of bridges in Oregon in fair condition will likely move to poor condition in the future, saying ODOT only has the resources to replace 3 bridges annually. ODOT officials I talked to today tell me there's a clear reason for this, and it largely has to do with them trying to keep up with new safety measures. As 40% of state-owned bridges in Oregon were built between 50 and 70 years ago.
The standards of build were low because we just didn't know, right? We weren't planning for long-term use. We weren't planning for the level of vehicular travel that is out there.
And with more than 2,700 bridges, the state is trying to play a hard game of catch-up. Many bridges are reaching the end of their lifespan, and ODOT officials say standards are constantly changing and costs constantly rising. Officials say the bridges' needs outpace their resources.
With those changing times, we're always kind of chasing our tail a little bit when it comes to what that standard build bridge looks like, because we need to start planning for hundreds of years into the future. And you just don't know what you don't know.
And that means as standards change and new safety measures are created, many of the bridges that were in great conditions will need improvements. And coming up on KEZI 9 News at 5, I'll show you why officials with ODOT say the number of bridges in Oregon in fair condition is nothing to be alarmed about just yet. Reporting in Eugene, Jennifer Singh, KEZI 9 News.